So how you doing today, Corey?
Good, good. It's early in the morning on the West Coast in LA, but can't complain. I wouldn't have want to wake up early for anything else than this. This is fun. Very excited about just kind of teaching devs how to interact with the Sui blockchain and move value across chain through USDC. So this is gonna be fun.
No, this is great. And as I mentioned, this is our first time going live. It's going to be really interactive. We'll be able to hopefully answer some questions, hopefully show some developers how they can start building on Sui. One of the things that I know I always get, questions asked is why are we doing these expansions? Why are there so many chains? And I think, sometimes we don't take the time to kind of sit back and explain like, okay, this is why we've decided to expand. This is maybe some of the differences that these chains offer. So yeah, I was kind of hoping maybe you could help us, maybe recap a little bit on USDC in general, our smart contract,
Yeah.
and potentially even let's go a little bit into the Sweet blockchain. Talk about Move and see, how we can kind of have fun today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, there's a lot to unpack here, but the first question is why are we expanding to all these different chains? Well, we kind of foresee a multi-chain world. As you see, there's so many different blockchains. Some of them are purpose-built, some of them have general purpose use cases. But for blockchains like Sui, they are uniquely positioned to be basically a chain that can custody or store actually digital assets for gaming and entertainment. And they've done a great job of doing partnerships with gaming studios, entertainment companies, and they also have made sure the chain can do some things that are very interesting, like parallel processing. So being able to kind of process transactions and have in async transactions, and also be able to provide a lot of throughput so that a lot of companies, businesses, developers, users can actually transact on this chain around the world and not have to deal with any latency. Also, too, transaction fees are very low on this chain, the way
Mm.
they designed it, and so it's designed, for a lot of transactions per second. I think 270,000 transactions per second, and
Ooh.
a lot of games can use that for microtransactions. Casual games can use it, so it's going to be storage and compute for a lot of entertainment based companies, and very excited for USDC to kind of bring stable dollars and issue those dollars on chain so developers can kind of programmatically create these experiences for these companies to be able to move value between one another.
So you mentioned gaming. I mean, is gaming something that we're gonna see grow over the next couple years? Gaming, and I'm gonna go into AI a little bit, but yeah, let's talk about
Yeah,
gaming.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how are you starting to see developers out there, as you talk to builders all the time, leveraging gaming and blockchain?
Yeah, yeah. So, you're seeing a lot of builders kind of talk about one, if you're a small company, gaming company, and you want access to decentralized storage, that could be a lot cheaper because you don't have to manage that back end infrastructure, and it can help you kind of spin up, the actual storage part of your game. It's a very productive workflow to be able to leverage public infrastructure to manage your back end for asset management of the assets on your game, but also to with the blockchain and smart contracts, it gives you some more features and functionality that you can do with your assets. And a lot of these games, there's a lot of activity between assets moving from one player to another. And some of these activities get very complex, and that's where the programmability of smart contracts on a blockchain can become very powerful, where you can do things with your data storage that you couldn't do in a traditional database.
Mm.
So it unlocks some very novel concepts for storage of assets for games on a blockchain. And then we haven't seen much of it yet, but there could be a future where there's a lot of interoperability around these assets and allowing basically other games to tap into assets that have been issued from games previously. And so creating experiences where, you have a community of gamers who, may come over to another game because some of their winnings and things like that can be interoperable and enhancing their experiences they come into a new game. So that's really powerful too, because now you're allowing for accessibility of assets to be kind of interoperable in some instance. And so I think as we kind of move forward to strictly looking at the blockchain as utility, and also abstracting it away from the end user, so they don't really know what the underlying infrastructure is, and it's just more about the customer experience in the game. You're gonna see some really cool stuff pop up.
I like that. I like that. You talked about extracting away from the user. One of the things that came up that caught my attention was some release about Sui blockchain and MoviePass.
Yeah,
Connecting.
yeah.
I think that is pretty exciting. You have a little, I guess, semi quasi connection to that story of MoviePass.
It,
What was it like for you to, kind of see the founder from a distance and see all the growth they've done, and then kind of, see that connection that they're bringing? I mean, they were really forward thinking with the MoviePass when it
well,
first
yeah.
was originated, and now they're taking it to another level, moving ahead of the curve, connecting with blockchain. What were some of your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me when I moved to the West Coast back in 2016, and I was, on the LA tech scene meeting different people. MoviePass was a company that I constantly heard about, as being on the forefront of innovation and entertainment. And so very happy that Stacy, he kind of went through some trials and tribulations with his company, but happily he got it back. And it doesn't surprise me that he's doing some very innovative things and kind of looking at integrating USDC on Sui within his actual company or whatever. And so I think that's really cool because he seems to be a very fast forward thinker, and he seems that the type of person that would really build some very cool transactional experiences on USDC. And so one thing I gathered from the documentary was really cool was they kind of were the first to experiment with geolocation payments. So basically, when you got to the
Oh,
movie, it was able to authenticate that Sam is at this AMC, uh, fund his debit card, immediately, and allow him to be able to pay and go to the movies based on him having a subscription. So
mm-hmm.
I can only imagine some of the innovation that they're going to be able to unlock with USDC on Suite.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Once again, we're here live. I've got DevRel Manager of the Americas, Corey Cooper, someone that I get to work with on a regular basis, and just happy that we can really bring him out here to the community. So yeah, definitely looking. If you have any questions out there, let us know. Um, Corey,
Yeah.
let me know when you're ready. I know that you have a presentation, and I'd love to
Yeah.
go ahead and get started on that.
Yeah, so let me share my screen. Everyone, I'll be going through basically a short presentation of explaining how USDC works. And then also we'll finish off with it's just a very simple demo of how developers can kind of get up and running and start programmatically transacting with USDC. So let me share my screen. Okay. All
All
right,
right.
let me know, Sam. Can you see it? Okay. Okay, so we're
Yeah.
gonna, focus on. helping developers get started with USDC on Sui really quickly. I am Corey Cooper, the DevRel Manager of America, so I cover US and South America as my region. And today I'm just going to kind of give you a background on USDC, the actual smart contract that was deployed on the Sui blockchain with Move, and then also a demo of how to build a very simple sample app to do a USDC transfer. So, the first thing is we want to kind of talk about USDC. And so, what is USDC? It's a digital dollar that is issued on public blockchains. And so, one thing that we have done to build the trust is we always, are redeemable one to one. So any customer that has a account with Circle can always redeem one to one their USDC with USD. And so we back all of the USDC that's issued on chain. 100% is backed by cash or cash equivalent assets, and then we custody it in very very high grade banks that are very well respected globally to make sure that your money is backed by dollars in a bank account. So that's how we kind of handle things off chain to build that trust that when you're transacting on the blockchain, that USDC token is backed by a dollar in the bank account. And then we're very transparent, around our accounting and our attestations. And so we publish monthly reports we have various auditors that audit our reserves to make sure we have not issued more than we are supposed to, making sure everything's one to one on the chain. And also too, our reserves are managed by BlackRock. And so there's a very trusted company in the global financial economy. And so, we are very transparent about the reserves and the audits, and then we have weekly attestation reports. And all this information can be viewed on our website at circle.com if you want to dive a little bit deeper. And then the last thing, but it's really important, is regulated. We are issuing dollars on the blockchain to allow people to build financial products, payment experiences. And so we want to make sure that we are, doing the right things to protect all parties involved as, money is being moved over the blockchain. So we have money transmitter licenses and all the relevant jurisdictions in the U.S., and we're expanding abroad. As you can see, UK, Singapore, Bermuda are some of the actual, permits and licenses we received to actually legally operate there. So these are things that, make USDC what it is today. So it's trust, transparency, and regulation to make sure that developers, businesses, and individuals who are using this digital dollar technology can always trust and believe that, it's backed by a dollar. And so at the bottom, you see some of our partners: BlackRock, Coinbase, MasterCard, MoneyGram, Visa, WorldPay. These are all very respected financial institutions. They have trusted us, based off of how we've operated as a company. And that's why we have these strong partnerships. As far as use cases of USDC, some of the core use cases we've identified that a lot of our customers are building for are, the first thing is dollar access. So this is just the ability to create basically a digital dollar account that is equivalent to a USD account. And so developers can build these embeddable dollar accounts within their app to basically balance and manage a ledger of dollar denominated on-chain accounts. And so it is a easy way for digital dollar accounts to be embedded into your application. So think about if you're building like a marketplace or something, and you have end users funding an account, and that account basically is funded, and the balances are in USDC or whatever to enable developers to build those digital dollar ledger systems. this is becoming very valuable in markets like South America, where it's very hard for businesses to get, or even individuals to get, dollar bank accounts. And so this is a way to actually create basically that experience with our technology. Cross-border
Hey,
payments, obviously the
hey,
blockchain.
Corey.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
Corey. I wanted to touch, I guess, pause a little bit on the dollar axis because this is something that I've seen,
yeah.
in travel, especially in LATAM, and I don't think a lot of people understand
Hmm.
the importance of if you're a business in, let's say somewhere in South America, um, and you want to do business with U.S. based companies, or you want to pay companies, in the U.S., or you receive money from companies in the U.S., it's not easy to just, you can't just take U.S. dollars and put it into a bank account, right? Local bank
Right,
account. And so
right.
what USDC actually offers is an ability to have a digital bank account that opens up an
Hmm.
enormous amount of opportunities. I was just wondering, could you just maybe rehash on that particular ability? I know you went to Colombia
Yeah.
and a couple other places, so just for those listening that may not understand why that's so significant and why we're so excited about it.
Yeah, yeah, because the reason why that is really big is because what it does is it expands the global economy, and it actually breaks down, commerce barriers. So actually, it's interesting you bring this up because as I go on across border payments, that's a use case where you have these businesses, in other countries that want to do business, and now they're able to have these digital dollar accounts because of the USDC technology. And now they're able to do these cross-border payments where transactions can settle near instant at a very low cost because some of those countries don't have the relevant banking infrastructure to allow for those transactions to settle. So this is a way to accommodate that due to the lack of banking infrastructure that may be in certain areas of the world that are not as developed from a financial perspective as United States. So it basically brings a wealth of opportunity for businesses outside of the U.S. who want to perform a lot of B2B transactions with businesses that in the United States. So it's very powerful, very powerful.
Awesome.
And
I
then
appreciate
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. And then we have our crypto capital markets. And obviously, this is a way for, people who are trading in different crypto assets have a way to actually stabilize their earnings or balance by, settling in USDC. So yeah, we're very excited. And so obviously, a lot of people, want to know how does this work? How does new USDC get into the ecosystem? And so it's very simple. This is for step process. And so the first thing is, a business would get an account with Circle, and they would get a Circle Mint account. The businesses that are eligible are mainly financial institutions or exchanges. So those type of businesses, uh, are the type of businesses who basically meet the requirements and the compliance requirements as well to actually uh, get a Circle Mint account. And what they would do is they would wire their USD or fiat to Circle's reserve account. Once that wire settles, then Circle triggers the minting function on the USDC token contract. And that mints the corresponding amount of money that was wired into the reserve account. And then once it mints the new USDC, it transfers it to that business's Circle Mint account. And then they have the ability to basically move that USDC liquidity to any external wallet that they own or control. And so that's how the USDC is created and issued in the ecosystem of the blockchain. So, so yeah, um, you know, we're going to dive now in this part of the presentation into the USDC token specifications, just to kind of show you a little bit about the functionality of the actual USDC Sui token. And so the key functionality is very simple for the smart contract on Sui for USDC is, the first thing is minting and burning. So this allows for the smart contract to handle issuing new USDC coins and then also, redeeming for USD. So burning those out of the ecosystem. So if a business, wants to mint $100,000 of USDC from the Circle account, and then they come back a week later and they want to withdraw that $100,000 of USDC to 100,000 USD in their bank account, then that will trigger the burning activity, and it will burn that out of the total supply of USDC, right? And then it would actually convert, to USD or the fiat into their bank account. So the smart contract handles that process to make sure, the actual liquidity that's balanced out on chain matches, the activity of minting and burning. The next is you have these role-based access controls on the smart contract. So for very critical things around the smart contract, there's the ability to assign roles and responsibilities via, EOA addresses and smart contract addresses to make sure security is there. So think of things like, we may have to do an upgrade to the smart contract. So, being able to pause the contract so that minting and burning can't happen, and being able to do an upgrade to the contract. So the role-based access gives us the ability to do certain things on the contract, like pause it, assign a master mentor, and things like that. And last but not least, we have our allow and block list. And so since USDC is a regulated coin on the Sui blockchain, we have to protect people from interacting with bad actors. And so there's the ability to be able to create an array of block lists to protect the users that are transacting with USDC on Sui, to make sure they're not dealing with any, compromised wallets or sanctioned wallets. So it's pretty simple. So now we'll get into the demo. I'll switch screens again. And so, the demo is, I'll give you a preview of it, but this is a simple sample app that we created.
Right.
And it allows for a developer to interact with the split coin method within the Sui SDK. And so that allows for you to transfer, the USDC coin from one address to another. And so I'll give you a simple demo, and then we'll jump into the code. And so basically, you're able to perform a wallet connect experience. So we're going to connect our wallet to the Sui wallet. And by the way, Sui did an excellent job with this wallet. It's a very nice wallet. And so I'm going to open up my wallet.
Team.
Yeah, Sui Team's developer experience is really nice. So we're on the test net, right? And I logged in with my Google credentials, so it's very seamless. And they have the, I've got, 0.99 Sui in my account. Here are my coins. So I've got Sui right here, like I said, and then I've got USDC. I've got $7.99 of USDC. And so, I connected my wallet. So now I can interact with the actual, functionality built into this web app. And so I want to send, $2, right, of USDC to this recipient. So let me grab my recipient address from here. So got it here. I'll go back. And I'll paste this address in here, right? And so you see the button highlight now. So I've inputted the correct values format for these fields, and now I can send this USDC. So I click that. Modal pops up of me to review this transaction to make sure I want to approve it, and saying, hey, your balance changes will be for $2. So I'll be sending $2 to this address, right? And then it shows my balance changes. It says, hey, you're gonna be deducted $2, and then we'll deduct X amount of SWE, right, for gas. And so I can approve this transaction because this is actually what I want to do. So I click approve. And now transaction successful. You see that showing here. And then this is the digest. So look at the digest is kind of like a transaction, a hash, basically. It's a series of characters where you can kind of look up the transaction ID. So we can copy this digest and we can go to the Sui Block Explorer, right? We can look this up on the Block Explorer. So I can search in here, right? And it's brought up the transaction. So this is a transaction block that it brought up. And as you can see, it's showing that I sent it to this address and I was deducted $2.
And it was also pretty fast, by the way.
Yep, pretty fast and cheap.
This is, I was like, it's really live, and you're going through it, just click, 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 click. So yeah, shout out to the Sui team.
Yeah. So yeah. And then here it shows the balance changes of the wallet. So it shows my account right here. It was deducted $2. Then it shows my account again. It shows the SWE amount that was deducted. And I like it because it converts that SWE amount, right, of gas into USD as well. So like it gives you the conversion to in real time, which is good. So you can kind of calculate how much gas you spent.
Oh, yeah.
And then it shows
that's pretty dope, actually.
Yeah, it's really dope. They did a great job. And so then it shows that the balance has been updated on that wallet. I sent it to $2. And so if I go back to my wallet, I should see $5.99. And actually I do, right? So
look at that. You sure do. You sure do. $5.99.
Yeah, $5.99. So that's what we'll kind of go through and show developers how they can quickly build this simple app to like transfer USDC, and they can get in the habit of programmatically transacting. So there are a few things I want to start with though. So we're going to switch over to Circle's developer docs, right? So I'll go back to the homepage. So if you're a developer, you're trying to find the Sui testnet and mainnet contracts because you're trying to get up and running, right? So first thing you'll go is you go to developers.circle.com, and then you'll click on stablecoins, right? And then on the left sidebar, you'll see USDC on testnet networks. You can scroll down and you can get the Sui testnet contract address because you'll need this in your code. If you want the mainnet address, you'll click USDC on USDC on mainnet networks. Scroll down, and here is the mainnet address, right? So this is where you'll find the contract addresses in our developer docs to make sure you're not interacting with any of the bridged, USDC Sui contracts. We don't support those. So we only support USDC native from Circle. So this is where you'll find the most accurate, contract addresses in our dev docs here. The other thing too to note is we have a public faucet, right? And so this faucet allows for you to get access to USDC and EURC. These are our different stable coins. And so for Sui, you would click this drop down menu, you can scroll down, and so this will give you access to testnet Sui, and you can get $10 worth of USDC. So you put in your wallet address, hit send, and it'll top up. Actually, we can do this right now so you can kind of see. So let me get my wallet address here, copy it, right? And then I'll paste it in here. So this is a way to get access to testnet USDC liquidity. It was sent. Let's go back. It should show my address. Okay, $15.99 now. See? Yep.
$15.99. I just want to say, faucet.circle.com is awesome. I was so happy when we released this. If you haven't used it yet, you're missing out. It's easy. Faucet.circle.com. You see how easy it was to get started in building. Just a quick shout out. So back to the show.
Yeah, definitely. The other thing too is the Sui TypeScript SDK by Miston Labs did a great job. Excellent. Easy building experience. Documentation was really good. So that's the first thing you want to do. You want to actually, get this SDK, especially if you are, a developer who is accustomed to building with TypeScript or JavaScript and using different, frameworks like Next.js. So let's jump into the code. So we will switch to code, and I've got a Next.js app. So it's a very simple Next.js app that I created, and all I did was all this stuff is happening on the client side. So, if you go into the source file here, pages, this is where I wrote the code to create that simple sample app. And so, in the beginning of the code, you see my import statements where I'm importing React hooks. So that handles the state management of the different changes that are happening on the blockchain so we can represent those changes on the actual front end experience. And then the wallet kit from Miston Labs SDK. So being able to kind of create that connect button to connect the actual Sui wallet to the actual app. And then the DApp kit from Miston allows me to interact with a node provider, right, to get information about what's happening on the blockchain with the transaction and represent that information on the actual front end experience. And then the 10 stack React query. So this is just a way to be able to kind of create hooking experiences to querying information and asynchronously managing that and caching it. So makes it very easy to work with React components and actually manage and cache information very efficiently. And then the Miston Labs is SDK with the transactions or whatever. And so this is kind of forming that transaction block, right, to perform the actual transaction on chain with USDC on Sui. And so I define the network that I want to interact with. And so that's the testnet network. It's a full node network on Sui's blockchain. And you can find this in their developer docs. So you can test on testnet, devnet, or mainnet. And so, we always want to start with testnet first. So, they have testnet networks for you to actually interact with, and that's in their dev docs. Then, one of the most important things is obviously we want to make sure we're interacting right with the correct token contract address. There are a lot of bridge versions of USDC on Sui, and we hope that everybody kind of moves over to native USDC. And so this is where I declare my variable for the USDC constant. And so I took that actual USDC contract address that I got in the Circle dev docs, and I placed it here and created this constant variable USDC underscore type. So this is referencing the correct testnet contract address. And now we're in our component here. And so this is managing basically the wallet kit experience. So being able to connect your wallet and managing the state of, the actual connected or disconnected wallet to the actual application. And then we have other hook experiences to manage the state of the actual amount of USDC that we want to send, the recipient address, and the actual transaction as well. And so let's scroll down here to get to the actual meat of everything, which is the handle send tokens function. So this is a function that kind of handles all the actual functionality you see on the screen with me connecting the wallet. If the wallet's not connected and I try to actually send a transaction, obviously it's going to give me a message on the screen handling the error handling of it. So it'll tell me, hey, I need to connect my wallet and fill out the fields. And then once I do that, connect my wallet, it's going to fetch the actual balance on my wallet. So fetch the actual, USDC balance to make sure I have enough USDC to be sending it to do that check. So this get coins method basically fetches the actual coin type that you reference, and that is the USDC type, right? That we created this variable above. So it's going to fetch and verify, hey, does Corey have the right amount of USDC he's trying to send? If he doesn't, right, flag this error message right here, no coins in your wallet. Then after that, right, we create our transaction block, right, here. And once we create our transaction block, we also want to parse the amount that we're trying to send. So that amount is what we put in the actual amount field. And the thing about USDC is it's got 6 decimal places added to it. So like if you don't parse this value in order to send, 1 USDC, you're gonna have to put a 1 and then 6 zeros after it. And so we wanted to parse it so we can format it into basically integer amount. And so that cuts out all the extra zeros we have to add to send, dollar amounts. And then the split coins method, what this does is basically when I'm trying to send the transaction, what it does is it finds, all right, how much do I have in my wallet? So if I have $5 in my wallet, and then I call that split coins method, what it would do is it split out, well, how much am I trying to send from that 5? And if it's $2, then it would, split out 2 from that 5 and send the 2 to the recipient address, and then update the balance to $3 in my wallet. And so this is how the process works. Obviously, you then have to sign and execute the transaction. So you remember when that modal came up and asked me to approve. So that's the last part of the transaction where we are signing that transaction, and once we give it a successful signature because we own the wallet and the private keys to that wallet, then the transaction can be processed. So this is basically the meat of the code. And again, like I said, using the Miston Labs' TypeScript SDK will give you all of this functionality packaged in a very solid library that has a lot of functions and methods that you can call to easily get up and running and transacting with USDC very, very quickly. So you don't have to write all of this extra code. And then obviously they have it in TypeScript, which is a very highly popular language for building web applications online. So again, that is pretty much it. And again, this is the end result of what you'll build, with using the code that we just displayed. And then the last thing is, if you want to do a deep dive on the stablecoin, right, on Sui, we have our GitHub repo out, CircleFin. And then if you go to the stablecoin -Sui section of it, you can see the actual move programs we wrote to deploy basically USDC on the Sui blockchain. So within the packages section, you can go to stablecoins. Actually, you know what? Go to USDC and then sources. And this is the parent move program that we wrote. And then if you go to the stablecoin section, these are the different functionalities we built into the coin to make sure it's a regulated coin on the Sui blockchain. And so Move is the equivalent to Solidity for EVM. So Move is a programming language to write smart contracts on the Sui blockchain. And it's very performant, and it allows for you to create your coin standard. We'll create coins on the actual Sui blockchain with this coin standard. So you go to Sui Dev Docs, and go to their standard section of coins. It shows you the types of coins that you can create with their coin standards. We created a regulated coin, so it has all of the functionality that is considered for a regulated coin, and it's a suite of functions or whatever, and so very very cool programming language to actually use to write smart contracts, and they've done a good job of explaining, the functionality of their different coin standards. Last thing I want to show, we'll go back to GitHub. If you want to, play around with this program yourself, you can go to my GitHub repo and then go to the Sui USDC transfers repository. You can clone this and run it yourself and look at the sample code to ultimately rebuild what I built to get an idea of how to start playing around with USDC on Sui.
Hey, I just want to tease you a little bit. When I first met you, and you were talking about you were a builder. The first thing I said was, let me see that GitHub repo. Let me see that GitHub.
Yeah.
I'm just playing. You don't have to have one. But you have to have one. You say you talking all that nonsense. I want to make sure you had that GitHub repo. It was active, and it was. Look,
you got to.
Man, I appreciate it, man. We got a good group of people. We just went live. We literally put out I think 2 tweets, about this event. It seems like we had average about 80 or so people watching today, which I really appreciate. Really appreciate everybody hanging out with us. This is going to be recorded. It's going to be on our YouTube. So if you go to youtube.com/build on Circle, and then of course it would remain here on our X account. Unless Alex tells me to bring it down for some reason, guy. I don't know what we said while we were live.
and builders out there, any builders out there building on Sui, reach out to us. Reach out to Sam. Please. Reach out to me in a DM if you need help. Also, too, we didn't mention that we're launching CCTP on Sui as well. So that CCTP will be on Sui as well with USDC. So that is a game changer for the Sui ecosystem, because now you'll be able to move liquidity from all the different blockchains that we have CCTP on to the Sui chain and create these cross-chain, payment experiences or transactional experiences. So that's a big game changer for the Sui ecosystem.
Huge. And we plan on doing more of these. If you're not already, visit our Discord. It is in the X description here if you're on X. But it's simple. It's circle.com/Discord. Corey, we got Blessing. We have the rest of our dev marketing team, Ian Chung, as well as Al Lukens there. We have Elton now is another DevRel. So we got
shout out to Elton.
I think we have Elton in the APAC region as well.
New.
Yeah, he's new and he's rocking. He's already done a presentation already. Jenna and our team is you probably saw if you went to any of these recent events. You're looking at Breakpoint, ETH Global Singapore. Jenna was holding it down. And you know what? I gotta give shout out to our VP. She allows us to do stuff shout out to Sandra. Right. She allows us to do person. She allows us to do a lot of cool things. If you ever see her out, don't hesitate. Tell her what you like, what you don't like. We're very much here to make sure that we can make your experience as great as they are. So Corey, look, I really appreciated this. We're going to do some more. If you are in the community as well, I want to say this. If you're in the community and you're building on Circle and you've got some really neat innovation that you want to share, reach out to me as well. I have no problem actually letting you host one of these live workshops so you can bring your own personal spin and experience. Yeah.
Do a little takeover. Okay.
Little takeover, man. Let the listen.
I like
it. Exactly.
Yeah,
it's not about
developer
me,
takeover.
Exactly. Me or Corey. It's really about you, the developers that are out there that are building. We're just here to help. So if you got a cool innovation, reach out. I know that I already talked to VIA Labs, Blockflow, and a few others that are building on Circle and want to be a part of this. So if you want to be a part of, join our Discord, circle.com/Discord. We are here to help. Other than that, folks, we're going to go ahead and sign off, and we'll see you soon. Any last words, Corey?
No, it's been real. Thanks. I've enjoyed it. So we're going to have many more to come.
Many more.
So
Many more to come.
excited. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
All
Take care,
right.
everybody.